Hydride Chemical Company proudly supports MPTV and this Field of Honor special. It is with our deepest gratitude and respect that we honor the brave World War II veterans and armed forces who have sacrificed so much to protect and defend our nation and the freedom we all enjoy today. Founded and based in Milwaukee, we proudly support the community that we've called home for over 80 years.
Welcome, everyone, to Field of Honor, a salute unlike any that's happened before. Thank you for coming to our stadium-sized tribute in honor of the greatest generation, our World War II heroes.
Nearly 7 decades ago, our nation desperately needed your courage, and you unhesitatingly answered the call.
On behalf of a grateful community and country, from countless and humble volunteers, from our children and their children, we thank you.
From the bottom of our free hearts.
Thank you, and welcome home.
From sea to shining sea.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Wisconsin Veterans of Foreign Wars State Honor Guard has been in existence for 25 years. The Honor Guard is commanded by Colonel Matt Myers. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join Medal of Honor recipient Gary Wetzel in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing now as Grace Weber sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in
Welcome to Field of Honor, a salute to the greatest generation, the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight tribute to Wisconsin's World War II veterans. We're speaking to you just a few minutes before the start of formal activities.
Since 2008, Stars and Stripes Honor Flight's mission has been to say thank you to Wisconsin's World War II and terminally ill veterans from other wars by flying them on honor flights to see their memorials in Washington, D.C.
We're here at Miller Park in Milwaukee to pay tribute to what Tom Brokaw affectionately refers to as the greatest generation and to acknowledge their sacrifice for the country and the world. It's been a day full of music, exhibits, memories, and a record-breaking world premiere of the documentary entitled Honor Flight.
But most importantly, we have a stadium full of veterans and their family members who are here to receive a grateful nation's thanks. The celebration has been going on all afternoon, and we'll bring you highlights from the activities, show you the exhibits, and share excerpts of the program with you.
We'll hear from a number of Wisconsin veterans who are here and who have taken an honor flight to Washington, D.C. to see the World War II Memorial.
In 2004, the federal monument to pay tribute to World War II veterans finally opened on the National Mall. The memorial honors the 16 million Americans who served during the war, the more than 400,000 who died, and the millions at home who supported the war effort. Honor flights began in 2005, the brainchild of Earl Morris, a retired Air Force captain and physician's assistant who wanted to honor the 27 World War II vets he'd been taking care of for the past 3 decades. The first flight consisted of 6 small planes flying out of Springfield, Ohio, carrying 12 veterans. In 2006, the Honor Flight Network was created. By the end of 2011, more than 81,000 vets had been on an honor flight. The network now has hubs in 40 states. There are currently 6 hubs in Wisconsin: Stars and Stripes, Old Glory, Never Forgotten, Freedom, Badger, and Northland. We talked with a number of veterans about their experiences on the honor flights.
I was going to go to college. I was in a program called ASTP, Army Specialized Training Program. Took basic training, infantry training in Camp Hood, Texas. Then I went up to University of Illinois. In the engineering program, 8 weeks they tossed it out. So we put us all into line outfits, so I ended up in the 8th Armored Division in Louisiana.
Bill soon found himself in combat in Europe. After the war, he came home but didn't talk about his war experiences.
You didn't talk too much about it, maybe among other guys who were in the Army, but that was about it. Most guys didn't want to say much about it. So that was, I knew friends that had it much worse than I had it, so if you were in the middle of the Battle of the Bulge, that was really bad. Or if you got into D-Day, that was even worse. So.
Bill took an honor flight in the fall of 2011.
Somebody told me about it. I said, well, how do you get on there? And they said, well, you apply, so I applied. And I had a companion, a girl, really nice girl. And we went down there and saw everything, except it rained all the time. A real heavy rain. But we really enjoyed it. The guys were really great. I was lucky I can still walk. You wouldn't believe the number of guys in wheelchairs. So, but they really treated you beautifully. I was not expecting the reaction when I got home and all the people waiting. That was unbelievable. Of course, they're all saying, hey, you're a hero. Well, of course, we didn't feel like heroes. We did what we did. And we got home. That's the best part of it all.
For the 2.5 million African Americans who served during World War II, there were unique challenges.
I went to school for the gunnery, but whites wouldn't serve. They wouldn't let you fly. They would serve with you. They refused to fly with you. So that put it out there. So you had to find something else. So I got to be a refueling operator. You know, where you put in the wing of the plane. And then after that, then I got to be a expediter man. You may not know what expediter means. That's where you drive that Jeep, said, follow me.
Like most black soldiers in the then segregated services, James felt the sting of racism even as he was fighting for his country. He was one of 6 brothers who fought during the war. He and his older brother Brenson have both taken honor flights.
That honor flight was the most enjoyable thing that ever happened to me. Since I was in the Army, out of the Army. This is the best thing that ever happened to me, and I had the most enjoyable trip that I didn't even think it was going to be that way. I mean, because you're a little leery, but my brother had told me how nice it was and how they treated you. I thought people had forgot about it. You know, they had forgot you. This, you know, they never give you the run around like they used to when the guys come in, and now they give them all this stuff. But from during World War II, when you got back, you go that way and you go that way. And you the guys that you served with, you know. This was the most, I mean, the honor flight, I don't know who thought of that. But the guy did, he deserved a medal.
The driving force behind Stars and Stripes Honor Flight and this Miller Park tribute to veterans is no stranger to public service. Joe Dean is a longtime IBM executive, a current county supervisor, and the former mayor of Port Washington.
We're having a great time. We're having a great time. Now we're going over to Iwo. You guys want to go?
Joe Dean has a passion for honoring our World War II veterans. He feels driven to preserve a special time of our nation's history and give thanks to those who helped write the chapter.
We've touched a nerve here, and I think just in time, because we're losing such a significant part of our history as these veterans pass away. You know, 1 every 90 seconds now in this country.
Joe's passion is inspired by his father, David Dean's own military service. 4 years ago, Joe founded the Port Washington-based Stars and Stripes Honor Flight to extend that respect to his dad's peers. Stars and Stripes is one of 6 chapters in Wisconsin that flies World War II vets for free to Washington, D.C. The purpose is to offer the vets a chance to view their new memorial and other military tributes firsthand. Though each Wisconsin volunteer chapter operates independently, they are united in purpose.
If there's a veteran that would like to fly with his brother-in-law as a guardian, and the veteran lives in northern Wisconsin but wants to fly out of Milwaukee, we just do that. We make that happen, and vice versa, so that we'll share each other's wait list. You know, our mission is to fly veterans.
So far, some 5,000 World War II veterans have flown to Washington from Wisconsin alone. That's out of an estimated 30,000 World War II vets who actually live here. Many of them are too physically weak to make the trip.
As part of Johnson Controls sponsorship, they wanted to distribute a kitchen magnet, basically, and I made a few samples here if you want to pass a couple of these around, just to show what it looks like.
Eventually, the Miller Park Field of Honor tribute was born.
You know, it's heartbreaking when you make a call to a veteran who's been on your wait list to see the memorial, and they tell us that their physician just won't, it's too late, they're just too frail, they can't make a 20-hour day to Washington, D.C. and back. So we began to think about how do we bring the honor flight experience to them, and how do we show them in a very visceral way the gratitude of the Wisconsin community.
Stars and Stripes volunteers wanted to generate the same kind of gratitude vets receive when coming home from one of those day-long trips, only on a much larger scale. The planning has been extensive, but Joe Dean says it's worth the effort. Why is it so important for this Miller Park event to happen?
It's important because these men and women as teenagers were plucked off their farms and plucked from their homes and were reluctant warriors. We didn't want to get involved in this war. They were generally a peace-loving people that was called on to defend our republic when we needed their courage desperately.
Tonight is all about gratitude, but let's be honest. This took way too long. My generation waited way too long to honor the greatest generation. When I began working with Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, I met a World War II veteran who came into the studio and said, you know, no one had ever thanked me for my service for 60 years. Well, tonight, we're doing that, and we're doing it right.
You know, in World War II, there were more than 332,000 Wisconsinites who took up the call to fight for our nation. 8,590 paid the ultimate sacrifice. Their names are etched on the sides of memorials all across this state, on the sides of veteran posts from small towns to large cities and everywhere in between. Their names are on parks and memorials, but most importantly, they live on in the freedom we hold dear. Tonight, we remember their sacrifice, and we thank those amongst us who are reminders, living reminders of that sacrifice, of that greatest generation. Thank you so much for being here this evening.
Among the World War II veterans enjoying themselves at this Miller Park gathering is a popular Milwaukee Jesuit priest. 91-year-old Father Larry Jonas knows what it's like to serve his country as well as his Lord. I earlier had a chance to catch up with Father Jonas and his friend Charles Wakefield, who served as his guardian during an honor flight last April to Washington, D.C.
Do you play baseball at all?
No, I play tennis and lacrosse.
Father Larry Jonas is not your typical World War II veteran.
And the one engine went off, caught a fire, but they were able to blow it out, and then another one got on fire. I said, uh-oh, here we're going to have to die.
As a member of the Jesuit order, he's a man of peace. He's also a patriot. The war preceded his priesthood. He remembers his first day in uniform very well.
I told them I could type 55 words a minute. Well, they gave me a test, I got 45, and they practically embraced me. They said, you're going to be in an office.
That office was about as far from his hometown of Stevens Point as you can get. Uncle Sam sent him to Nigeria, where he and his buddies helped supply the U.S. forces in South Asia.
We supplied by air supplies to the Burma-India theater of war, sending pilots and equipment and parts and things like that.
Father Jonas later attended Marquette University on the GI Bill, where he majored in accounting. The Jesuits rekindled a lifelong ambition. He was ordained a priest at Jesuit Church in 1959, where he now serves as associate pastor. Last April, Father Jonas was invited to take an honor flight to Washington, D.C. World War II hero and former U.S. Senator Bob Dole was among the greeters. His guardian for the trip was Charlie Wakefield, a Vietnam veteran and retired banker from Wauwatosa. Charlie accompanied Father again to the Field of Honor celebration at Miller Park. He says he'll never forget how strangers came forward to help Father Jonas and other veterans step off the buses at the World War II Memorial.
So it was really, I think, more than the memorials themselves, which we expected to be moved by. We were more moved by the people and the outpouring and the warmth that we met everywhere we went. It was really something.
At 91 years of age, Father Larry Jonas's life has come full circle. He is a patriot and a priest. Both experiences have helped define his example of lifelong service.
There was real poverty over there, and I think it gave me a spirit of compassion for other people. And I felt that I could be of service in the priesthood, helping people in one way or another.
Unfortunately, not all veterans have been able to make the trip to Washington, D.C. to see the memorial. Vets who attended today's event got to see the memorial model and Wisconsin pillar. Mark Kincannon has more.
The average age of a World War II veteran is 90, an age where long-distance travel is a challenge. Many Wisconsin vets who haven't been able to visit the World War II Memorial in Washington got an opportunity to experience the next best thing, seeing the Pillars of Honor, a replica of the D.C. Memorial, one of the exhibits featured at the Field of Honor event at Miller Park.
Beautiful. see something else, never seen anything.
Unbelievable. You know, I thought I'd see some statues or something, but people, and they're very good people.
I'm glad they put it up so people like us can see it. There's a lot of us that probably will never get over to D.C. And it's really nice that we can come down here and look at it.
Some World War II vets who were fortunate enough to make the honor flight and see the D.C. Memorial are here tonight as well, and very happy that something like this is around for people who are not physically able to get to Washington.
I think it represents pretty much so what the way it really looked. The entire thing reminds me very much of how we walked around and saw all the stuff. It's very good. Well, I think it's wonderful that they can't navigate by themselves. I think that's a good thing. At least they get a chance to see what it's like.
Terrific, let me tell you. It just brings tears to your eyes.
The Pillars of Honor is an original scale model of the D.C. Memorial that travels across America, honoring those who defended the country in World War II. There are 56 pillars representing the 48 U.S. states as of 1945 and 8 U.S. territories. It brings people together from all generations to pay tribute to the greatest generation.
I get tears in my eyes here from the people who come up, shake your hand, thank you. Oh boy.
I never got so many handshakes and so many hugs. I couldn't keep a dry eye.
The Pillars of Honor, a traveling tribute to those whose individual stories wrote one of the most important chapters in American history.
Mark, you had the opportunity to take 2 honor flights this summer. What was that experience like?
Yes, it was a privilege and an honor. My favorite moment was in Pearl Harbor this summer, hanging out with some of the survivors outside Schofield Barracks, and a young brigadier general named LaCamera was reviewing the aging troops, and he was coming down the line shaking their hands, and one of the gentlemen said, "Are you a general?" And the brigadier general responded, "Yes, sir, I am." And the elderly gentleman extended his hand and said, "It's an honor to shake the hand of a general from the 25th Division."
Remarkable.
And you have a great tie in your family to an elite group of flyers.
I do. My 92-year-old Uncle John Lear was a Tuskegee Airman. In fact, he would tell me that he still is a Tuskegee Airman. That was the famed Red Tails Division, which really won a lot of honor for never leaving the bombers they were escorting. They would stay with them not only until they reached their destination safely, but also until they returned to the home base. The interesting thing about my uncle and so many African Americans who served in World War II is that they referred to what they were doing as the double V. Of course, they wanted victory overseas, but they also hoped in that second V, that second victory, that their efforts would help to promote civil rights for African Americans.
What a wonderful moment of history. What a courageous group of flyers. As we mentioned, this celebration is for the veterans and their families. We talked with some family members earlier today.
It's wonderful. Beautiful monument. We're very happy to be here on such a gorgeous day, and you know, we're proud of all the vets that managed to come here and all the volunteers that put this program together.
We are, this is the second time I've been in something like this. I went to the Washington, to the, what is that?
The honor flight.
Yeah, honor flight, and it was so great. Only the military and that could have done what, and the people have done what they did then. And I lost a brother in the service. That was a year and a half younger than me. He was in the Air Force, and he didn't make it. He was the day before he was going to be his last flight. He got hit, and he lived for 7 weeks. And that's all, and died. And he's buried in, where is it?
He's in Italy.
My granddaughter, who was my guardian, is along with me, and one of the very best friends has taken his time to bring me in here. I was a cell guard at Nuremberg, and after Dr. Lay committed suicide, we were put one guard to each cell. And so at that time, I know that I guarded every one of the top criminals that were prosecuted.
I see all this, you know, I really feel proud that I served the country. And it's a big day for the veterans. There ain't many left, you know.
It meant an honor to me to honor the veteran of World War I, II, and all the veterans in the service. I worked at the VA hospital, and I've been honoring them for 38 years.
A lot of people said they'd be here today, thanks. But the only thing is I just think of the ones that didn't get back.
It makes me incredibly proud. I think my father is a phenomenal man, and I just love that I could come all the way from Texas to be with him today.
I was really surprised and amazed. I think it's a wonderful thing for the World War II veterans. We gave a lot.
He survived some incredible battles. Not many people from D-Day are still alive to talk about it, so we feel very blessed he came back and had the 11 of us. So he lived life for all those who didn't come with him back from the battlefield.
Hi, this is Chris Narveson. Thanks for going to bat for my generation. We are playing America's game in the absolute freedom because of you. Thanks to all of our veterans.
Welcome to Field of Honor. I'm Jonathan Lucroy. Thank you for coming to Miller Park to celebrate the achievements of the greatest generation. Have fun tonight and enjoy the film.
Hello to all the veterans of Field of Honor. I'm Corey Hart. We are so proud that Miller Park is being used to salute you, the greatest generation. Tonight is your night. Enjoy the movie.
Hi, it's Aaron Rodgers. Sorry I couldn't be with you all tonight. I'm actually getting ready for practice here, but I got enough time to tell you guys thank you for your service. As my grandfather fought in World War II proudly, I can't thank you guys enough, the men and women in uniform, for your sacrifices to those in the stadium and those left behind. It's a great thing you guys are doing, and your sacrifice has allowed us to live with our freedom that we have in America. Thank you guys so much, and enjoy your well-deserved honor.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to share some thoughts with you on this very special evening. I was 7 years old when the United States entered World War II in 1941. It was a moment that struck my family hard, as my father was a member of the Army Air Corps, as it was called in those days, and he was called to active duty in the Pacific. My dad served and my family sacrificed, just like yours did, and millions of other American families. It was what we did then, and now 67 years later we are together again, and I am very proud to be a part of this celebration. You are still the greatest generation. When the world had gone dark, you stepped up and led the fight for all of us. I've been a very lucky man, and you may remember some of our triumphs with the Packers, but my message to you tonight comes from the heart. Nothing we did on the football field compares to what you did on the battlefield. The world needed every one of you, and what you did will never be forgotten. Again, I regret that I cannot be there in person to shake every hand, but if I could say and would say, thank you. God bless you. God bless Wisconsin, and God bless America.
Leave the light on. I'll be coming home soon. I'm afraid that my soul's gone. I'm ambushed in this unfamiliar cocoon. And I know I've been running, and I know you're tired. But leave the light on for me, though such a long time to feel alone. Yes, leave the light on for me. I am coming home. Well, it feels like you're dying. time is like gold, and all of the dreams that we made are embarrassed, 'cause we can't grow old. But I'll leave the light on for you, though it's such a long time to feel alone. Yes, I'll leave the light on for you, though our roots are turning to stone. Welcome back, I'll take you in. Not so sure of yourself this time or last time, but it's our time to draw the line, and blaming change, stick to move, how we blend and how we grew, and all I wanted you to say is I leave the light on, oh, for you, oh, though such a long time, yes, I'll such a long time to feel alone, yes, I'll leave the light on for you. I am coming home.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having us here.
That song is a tribute to our active service men and women employed overseas. Earlier today, one of our Vietnam veterans received a special honor. Mark Kincannon was there.
Vietnam veteran David Hoyle knew that he and his family would drive from their home in Port Washington to Miller Park to witness the Field of Honor events. But he had no idea that he would be a highlighted guest of honor.
Hey, how does all this happen? They're here for you. Well, that's...
Yeah, we're here for you, buddy.
On April 16, 1969, PFC David Hoyle was wounded in action in Vietnam.
We were guarding a bridge. We woke up to grenades, small arm fire, and all hell broke loose, you know.
Hoyle's medical records were misplaced, and he never received a Purple Heart Medal. His friend, fellow Vietnam vet Greg Williams, who he first met at Port Washington High School in 1964, works for the State Department of Veterans Affairs and recently found out about the oversight.
He got the paperwork, he got the ball rolling, we submitted everything, and the rest is Dave's history. He got his medal.
43 years after being hit by hostile fire in Southeast Asia, PFC Hoyle would be awarded his Purple Heart, surrounded by family and friends.
To Private First Class David Merton Hoyle, United States Army, for wounds received in action on 16 April 1969 in Vietnam.
Medal of Honor recipient Gary Wetzel, also wounded in Vietnam, would present the medal.
I'll pin this on you, buddy, okay?
Let's not get him a second Purple Heart here.
Thank you, brother. Okay, and you can hug your brother.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here and
I guess I just always felt that I deserved this, and I never wanted to get it for glory. I just wanted to get my Purple Heart. I mentioned it to Greg one day, and knowing Greg, he got the wheels rolling here, but this is way too much here.
I thought so too. This is way more than you deserve.
Friends from Port Washington sharing a laugh together after sharing a mission of service together nearly half a century ago.
There were about 14 guys who went in right around within a year or two of each other from Port Washington.
Here are three of those guys: Hoyle on the far left, Ray Freeze in the middle, and Junior Dahl on the right. Hoyle and Freeze, who now lives in Texas, made it back to Port Washington. Dahl was killed in action.
I lost a lot of good friends in Vietnam. That's the way it was back then. You did what your country asked.
Junior Dahl's brother Tom was thrilled to witness the long overdue Purple Heart ceremony for David Hoyle.
It's amazing, and Dave well deserves that Purple Heart. It makes you feel great. I mean, it's just a good feeling. It's a memory I'll never forget.
My boy. And my grandson, and that's my daughter. And here's my other daughter. And there's my brother Mark.
Did you know anything about this? Did you tell me?
They kicked me into this too. It's something that means a lot to all of us Vietnam vets. We didn't get that recognition when we came home, and now we're all old guys, but we all stick together.
These are my friends. My friends, you know, they take care of me, and once again, they looked after me.
Few events shaped the 20th century as much as World War II. We spoke with a historian about its impact on the United States and the world.
When the United States entered in 1941, that the Allies were in grave danger of losing the war, especially Great Britain. I think their danger had been somewhat lessened by the invasion of Russia by Hitler in June of 1941. But in the Pacific, we were fighting by ourselves against Japan. And the Japanese almost certainly would have conquered China, Korea, and a great deal of the Far East if the United States had been involved there.
With the capture of Berlin, the war on the European front ended in May of 1945. The war in the Pacific ended in August 1945 with Japan's surrender.
The war changed a lot on the home front for the United States. It was a catalyst for technological change, atomic energy, for example, but also for revolutions in medicine and aviation and transportation, and a lot of new electronic devices that made possible new household appliances in the 50s. Industrial changes. It was the catalyst that ended the Great Depression because the war opened up vast new markets abroad to the United States that had not been available during the Depression, because after the war, all of Europe and the Far East, their economic infrastructure had been destroyed. They needed American capital, American technology, American agricultural and industrial goods, and American expertise. It also unplugged the spigot on 14 years of pent-up consumer demand, and people were no longer afraid to invest, and all of those things pulled us out of the Great Depression. It also was cathartic in a psychological sense. That Americans were more united than we had been in generations. On both the home front and the battlefront, it gave new and greater opportunities to women and minorities. We still have a long way to go, but if there were a single event that transformed relations dynamically, at least economically, it was the war.
Offering groups of World War II veterans a chance to visit the nation's capital is becoming a growing trend, but retracing one's footsteps in the Pacific Theater is more rare. I recently had the opportunity on a special honor flight to Pearl Harbor in preparation for an upcoming MPTV documentary this fall entitled Return to Pearl.
The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage.
You sober up a lot after an experience like that.
This summer, Milwaukee Public Television followed 19 Pearl Harbor survivors back to Hawaii. All were from Wisconsin. The first full day in Honolulu began early. First stop on the Home of the Brave tour, the USS Arizona Visitor Center. Tell me about that day on December 7th. What do you remember?
Well, Holocaust.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's very touchy.
A lot of them were pretty badly burned, and that wasn't nice to see.
Historian Ulaf Holst says the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor was well planned and executed.
The dive bombers came out of the sun, and that makes it difficult for American gunners to shoot at them. They flew in from the east.
The surprise attack propelled U.S. forces into World War II. On September 2, 1945, Japan officially surrendered aboard the USS Missouri, which now serves as a major tourist attraction in Pearl Harbor itself. The Old Glory Honor Flight Group usually takes senior Wisconsin vets to Washington. So why Pearl Harbor this time?
This is where it started. You know, the world changed on that particular day, and the gentlemen that are with us on this trip saw it firsthand.
70 years ago, they saw bombs in the sky over Pearl Harbor. On this occasion, it was a rainbow. It's never too late to say thank you.
No honor flight is complete without a special mail call on the flight home from Washington. So here you go, veterans. We present Kids Mail Call.
Dear veterans, thank you for fighting for our country. You are very brave. Thank you for fighting for our freedom. Sam Hayes, age 5.
Thank you for being a brave soldier.
Dear veterans of World War II, thank you for fighting for our freedom that we now have and saving us from the dangers of World War II. From the Army to the Navy to the Air Force to the Marines, we are blessed to have had you protecting our country.
Go!
Dear veterans, you are the kindest people I know. You had a big decision to fight for our country. I am very proud of you. I love you too. Love, Sydney Haft, age 7.
Hello, my name is Katrina, and I am 9 years old. Thank you, World War II veterans, for fighting to keep our country free. This note is dedicated to my grandpa, Don Carpentier, who was a soldier in World War II. God bless America. Dear World War II veterans, thank you for risking your life to make this a free country. Because of you, we now live in a free nation where our rights are protected. Thank you for serving our country, and God bless you all. Thank you for protecting our country.
Hi, I'm Elena and I'm 11 years old. My grandpa Carpentier was a soldier in World War II. I'd like to thank him and all the other veterans for fighting to save our country. God bless America.
Thank you, World War II veterans.
The veterans and their family members who are here tonight helped set a world record for the most people to watch a movie in a single venue.
That film is the documentary Honor Flight, and it is having its world premiere right here at Miller Park.
Tonight's event is just an exclamation point on your incredible story. For the last 2 years, Clay, myself, and our team at Freethink Media have witnessed the way that this community, all of you here tonight, have stepped up, dedicating so much of your time to honor these men and women and show how much you appreciate them. But you're having an impact on people beyond veterans. Making this film has changed our lives, and your story has the power to change other people's lives too. Living in America today, it's easy sometimes to lose perspective on what we have. These veterans and this community have challenged us to think deeply about what it means to live in freedom and what kind of lives we want to live. So for all the veterans we've encountered over the last couple years, for all the veterans here tonight, and for those who we remember, like my grandfather, Richard Hayes, who fought in the Battle of Okinawa in 1945. We'd like to say thank you for your service. Thank you for opening your homes to us. Thank you for telling stories that weren't always easy to share. Thank you for providing us with much needed perspective. But most of all, thank you for our freedom.
Every single day, 900 World War II veterans nationally pass away. These were guys that in our normal lives we don't pay any attention to.
First of all, when I got home, I really didn't sleep too good. I'd wake up during the night, you had the flashbacks, you know, you'd be going into the beach, you know, you'd hear the big guns and so on. Time went by. Things settled down, and I got a job, and that's where I met my true love, at the gas company, right?
You're getting close to it, I'm telling you. Oh, you did it. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank everybody. This is wonderful.
Everyone. I'm extremely proud to be here and proud to announce that tonight's attendance is 28,442. Congratulations, you've set a new Guinness World Record for the largest film streaming ever.
Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This year we celebrate the 150th anniversary of taps, first sounded in 1862 during the Civil War. Taps is now the official final tribute for those military members who've served our great country. In that spirit, it is the honor and privilege of bugles across America and friends to sound taps to honor those deceased veterans of World War II, our greatest generation. Pictured in front of you is the Wall of Stars at the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. That wall contains 4,048 stars, each star symbolizing 100 veterans, men and women who paid the ultimate price in World War II, so we could live the lives that we have today. And now, a moment of silence to reflect and remember those more than 400,000 fallen heroes. As we play the military's official song to honor soldiers lost, Taps. Please rise if you're able to as the music begins.
Before we close tonight, we'd like to remind you to check out the Field of Honor webpage on the MPT website at www.mptv.org.
The site will link you to the 6 Wisconsin Honor Flight hubs where you can receive more information about upcoming events and flights. We leave you with Jenny Thiel singing God Bless America. Good night.
Good night.
God bless America, land that I love,
God bless America. That concludes our Field of Honor, a salute to the greatest generation. And what a night it has been.
Hydride Chemical Company proudly supports MPTV and this Field of Honor special. It is with our deepest gratitude and respect that we honor the brave World War II veterans and armed forces who have sacrificed so much to protect and defend our nation and the freedom we all enjoy today. Founded and based in Milwaukee, we proudly support the community that we've called home for over 80 years.